Hello and welcome to Replacement Player Baseball. Today, the Cubs are going to take on the Mets for Game 3 out of a 4-game series in New York. The Cubs enter play 22 games over 500 with a 44-22 record and leading the Central Division by 12 and 1/2 games. For today's game, the Cubs are going to be sending to the mound Chris Archer. He's making start number 15 with a 5-4 record, 3.99 ERA, and a 1.26 WHIP. The Cubs lineup today will be Hoerner, Correa, Santana, Harper, Springer, Tauchman, Estrada, Ramos, and Archer batting ninth. For the Mets, Noah Syndergaard will be making his 7th start of the season. He has a 2-1 record with a 3.55 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. The Mets lineup will be Jimenez, Nimmo, Alonso, Conforto, Davis, Guillermo, Marte, Nido, and Syndergaard batting ninth. It is 72 degrees today in New York, and it is time to get today's game underway. The wind is blowing in from center at 13 mph. So anyone wanting to hit a home run is going to have to hit it into a stiff breeze out to straightaway center field. Nico Hoerner stepping up for the Cubs against Noah Syndergaard. Hoerner coming up to the plate. Syndergaard looking for the sign, and here comes the pitch. And a grounder towards second. A hot smash. The second baseman had it in and out of his glove, and that, I believe, is going to be an infield single. Yes. So Hoerner, with a hard-hit ground ball, gets credited with an infield single to lead off the game. Syndergaard now facing Correa. Correa had a 24-game hitting streak ended in yesterday's game. Here's the 1-ball count, and Correa lines it past the first baseman down in the right field corner. Rounding second, heading for third is Hoerner. The throw comes back in to home as the runners hold, and now the Cubs have second and third with nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Oh, the run scored. Excuse me, Nico Hoerner came all the way around to score on that play, so credit Carlos Correa with the RBI double, and now the Cubs have a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Danny Santana now the batter. He's facing Syndergaard from the left side. Runner on second, nobody out. Cubs up by 1. Here comes the pitch to Danny Santana, and he drives it to center field into the wind. The center fielder looking up, he is going to make the play. That is out number 1. Bryce Harper now the batter. 1 out, 1 man on. Syndergaard facing Harper with a 1-ball count. And there's a golf shot into center field. Nimmo again right there to make the play for out number 2. Harper really went down and got that one. And it brings up George Springer. 2 outs, runner still on second. Syndergaard working with a 1-ball count. Here's the pitch. Liner right up the middle. That's a base hit. Is the runner going to try to score? Yes, he rounds third. He's heading home. The throw comes home. And Correa is safe. George Springer with an RBI single, giving the Cubs a 2-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Springer now with 37 RBIs on the season. And it brings up Mike Tauchman. 2 outs. Runner still on first. Here comes the full count pitch to Tauchman. Inside for ball 4, so Tauchman draws the walk, putting runners on first and second with 2 outs. Thairo Estrada now is the batter with 2 outs, 2 men on. Syndergaard working. Here comes the first pitch, and Estrada, and that gets away. A wild pitch all the way to the backstop, and the runners advance to second and third. So now Estrada, with an opportunity to drive in a couple more, he's facing Syndergaard with 2 outs and runners on second and third. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Syndergaard gets him to ground it over to third. The throw goes to first, and the throw is errant. 2 runs are going to score. Estrada slides into second on the error, and now the Cubs have a 4-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Man, that should have been an inning-ending ground ball. And instead, the Cubs score 2 more times, and it brings up Wilson Ramos with a runner on first, now in 2 outs. Syndergaard working with another 2-2 count, and there's a swing and a miss to end the inning. So Ramos strikes out swinging, The Cubs take 4 runs in the top of the first and take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of half of the inning. Chris Archer on the mound for the Cubs. He is facing off with Jimenez here in the bottom of the first, leading off for the Mets. Here's a 1-ball count. Archer looking to deliver the pitch. And there's a pop-up to center. Coming in is Springer. He gets under it and makes the play for out number 1. Nimmo now the batter. Facing Archer with 1 out, nobody on. Here's a 2-strike count. Archer delivers the pitch. And there's a pop-up behind second base. Going over is Horner. He calls off Correa and makes the catch for out number 2. Alonso now the batter. 2 outs, nobody on. 2 strikes is the count to Pete Alonso. Archer delivering the pitch. And that is strike 3 called on the inside corner. So the strikeout ends the inning. The Cubs go to the top of the second, ahead 4-0. Syndergaard facing Archer. The Cubs sent 8 batters up to the plate in the top of the first inning. And now the number 9 man, Archer, waiting for the 1-ball pitch. And there's a grounder over toward the mound. The pitcher has it. He throws to first for out number 1. Horner now the batter. 1 out, nobody on. Horner waiting for the 1-strike pitch. And a pop-up to right. Going over, adjusting to his right, is the right fielder, making the play that was right on target for out number 2. Syndergaard now facing Correa. 2 outs, nobody on. Full count pitch. Syndergaard delivers. And there's a drive into the gap in left center field. Carlos Correa with another extra base hit. He's going to be cruising into second with a double. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. That will bring up Danny Santana with 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Syndergaard working with a 2-strike count. And that's a drive into straightaway center field. That's going to be high off the wall. Another run is going to score. Santana slides into second. Back-to-back doubles, giving the Cubs a 5-0 lead here in the top of the second inning. So now Bryce Harper, the batter, with 2 outs and the runner on second. Garcia, however, is brought in out of the Mets bullpen. Luis Garcia. So Syndergaard's day is over. Luis Garcia has thrown 14 2/3 innings, walked 11, struck out 20 with a 3.68 ERA. Harper 0 for 1 today, facing Garcia in the top of the second with 2 outs and a runner on second. Here's a full count pitch to Bryce Harper. Garcia delivers. And a grounder toward first. A hot smash. The first baseman picks it up, steps on the base, and retires Harper easily to end the inning. So the Cubs score again, taking a 5-run lead into the bottom of the second inning. Conforto now facing Archer here in the bottom of the second. Full count. Archer delivers the pitch. Outside for ball 4. Archer issues the walk to lead off the inning. Next up, J.D. Davis. Runner on first, nobody out. 2-2 is the count. Archer delivers the pitch. Liner past the first baseman in right field. That's another base hit. So the Mets, actually, that is their first base hit of this game. The throw goes to third. However, the throw is late as Harper tries to throw out the runner advancing first to third. So now the Mets have runners on the corners with nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Archer facing Luis Guillermo here in the bottom of the second. 2-2 is the count. And there's a grounder over to third. The throw goes to second, the relay to first, and that is going to be a 5-4-3 double play. The Cubs concede the run, turning the double play, and now this is a 5-1 ball game. Starling Marte is the next batter. 2 outs, nobody on. Archer working to Marte with a 2-strike count. Here comes the pitch. And strike 3 is called right at the belt. So the inning is over. The Mets score once. We go to the top of the third of a 5-1 ball game. George Springer facing Luis Garcia here in the top of the third. I feel like the Mets bullpen must be pretty well taxed because they've pitched a lot. Oh, but apparently not. Gosh, it seems like that they've thrown a lot in these first 2 games, but maybe that's my imagination. So Garcia now facing Springer. Top of the third. Leading off for the Cubs. Garcia delivering the first pitch to Springer. And there's a drive to deep left center field. Springer got all that one. It is out of the ballpark. George Springer with a home run, making this a 6-1 lead in the top of the third inning. 441 feet out to left center field. George Springer with home run, I believe that's number 11 on the season for him. Let's just check that out. Yes, George Springer, home run number 11 on the season. Brings up Mike Tauchman. Still nobody out here in the top of the third. 1 run already in. Here's the 1-2 count. And Tauchman swings and misses for strike 3. So that will be the first out of the inning. Garcia now facing Estrada. 1 out, nobody on. 3-1 is the count. Thairo Estrada awaiting the pitch. And a grounder towards short. Picked and thrown over to first. That is out number 2. Ramos the batter. 2 outs, nobody on. Here is the first pitch to Wilson Ramos. And he grounds it over to third. An easy play. The throw goes to first and another errant throw. I believe that's the second throwing error by the third baseman Davis in this game. And now the pitcher Archer comes up with 2 outs and the runner on first. Garcia working with a 1-2 count. And Archer pops it up behind first base. Going over is Alonso, and he makes the play to end the inning. So the Cubs get a base runner, but they do not score. We're going to the bottom of the third of a 6-1 ball game. Chris Archer facing Brandon Nido in the bottom of the third inning. 1-2 is the count. Here's the pitch to Nido. And a liner past the first baseman down in the right field corner. That is going to be extra bases. Nido rounding first, heading for second. Harper gets the throw directly into second, but it's late. And the Mets have a leadoff double here in the bottom of the third inning. Archer now facing Luis Garcia. Runner on second, nobody out. This is going to be a sacrifice situation, I imagine. We're going to throw to second, see if we can catch him napping. But Nido gets back standing up. Let's pitch and see what happens. There's a bunt right back toward the mound. The throw goes to first, and it's thrown away. Archer with a bad throw, and the run is going to score. So the Mets, benefiting from a Cub error this time, getting their second run of the ball game. Archer with the throwing error, his first of the season. And now with a runner on second, nobody out, Jimenez is the next batter. Bottom of the third inning, Cubs up by 4. Here comes the pitch. And a grounder toward third. He looks the runner back to second, throws over to first. That's out number 1. Next up, Brandon Nimmo. 1 out, 1 man on. 1-2 is the count. And a drive to deep right center field. He got all that one. It was 1 hop to the wall. Man, that's a deep part of the ballpark out there in right center. The throw goes to the cutoff man. They try to get him at third, but Nido is going to have a triple and drive in the run, making this a 6-3 ball game in the bottom of the third inning. Nimmo now, excuse me, that was not Nido, that was Nimmo. He has 24 RBIs on the season. Now Pete Alonso the bat. With a runner on third and 1 out, here's the 3-1 pitch. Archer delivers. And that is low. It is ball 4. So Alonso draws the walk. That's Archer's second of the game. Archer now facing Conforto with runners on the corners and 1 out. Here in the bottom of the third inning. 2 runs already in. Here's the 1-2 count. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Conforto goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. J.D. Davis down the bat with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Archer working with a 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch. And a grounder up the middle. The shortstop has it. He throws to second to get the lead runner. And that'll end the inning. So the Mets score twice. They've made this a 6-3 ball game going into the top of the 4th inning. So Nico Hoerner now the batter. Facing Luis Garcia in the top of the 4th. 1-2 is the count. Hoerner waiting for the pitch. And there's a grounder towards second. Picked up, thrown over to first. That's out number 1. Correa the batter, and now Steve Cishek comes out of the Mets bullpen. Cishek has thrown 25 in the third innings, walked 12, struck out 31 with a 5.33 ERA. He will face Carlos Correa with 1 out in the top of the 4th. Here's the full count pitch as Cishek looks to deliver. And here it comes. High for ball 4. So The walk is issued. Correa walking down to first, bringing up Danny Santana with 1 out, 1 man on. Santana he is 1 for 2 with an RBI in today's game. Cishek working with a 1-1 count, and Santana lines it into center field. A good play by the center fielder Nimmo, running play to make the catch for out number 2. Bryce Harper now the batter. He's 0 for 2 today with 2 outs and the runner on first. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and Harper drives it to deep left field. I believe that is going to be 1 hop to the wall. Harper with extra bases. I believe the run's going to score. Harper cruising into second. Is he going to have an inside the park home run? Bryce Harper, I believe, just hustled all the way around the base paths, and he has an inside the park home run. It is now 8-3 in favor of the Cubs. That was an amazing hustling play by Bryce Harper. That went down into the left field corner, and the left fielder had a hard time getting it out of there. So now George Springer, the batter, he had a home run his last time up. He comes up with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 4th inning. Bryce Harper credited with his 7th home run of the season. Here's the 2-1 pitch to George Springer. Cishek delivers, and a drive to right field. This one is going to actually clear the fence, and that is another home run. 2 on the day for George Springer. And the Cubs now have a 9-3 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. 3 runs are in, 407 feet out to right field. George Springer with his 12th of the season. And now Mike Tauchman, the batter, with 2 outs and nobody on. And Michael Cone has come out of the Mets bullpen. He's thrown 10 1/3 innings, walked 9, struck out 10, with a 0.87 ERA. Cone facing Tauchman with 2 outs, nobody on. Cone looking to deliver the pitch. And here it comes. And a liner into left. Chasing is the left fielder. He gets in front of it and makes the play to end the inning. The Cubs score 3 more times, taking a 9-3 lead into the bottom of the 4th inning. Archer back out on the mound for the Cubs. He's going to face the 6, 7, and 8 batters in the Mets lineup here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-1 is the count. Archer looking to deliver the pitch. And there's a drive to left going back, and that is Tauchman with the running play with his back to the infield for out number 1. Nice defensive effort there. Brings up Starling Marte with 1 out, nobody on. 2-2 is the count to Starling Marte. And a grounder to short. Correa has it. He throws to first. That's out number 2. Nido now the batter. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 4th inning. Archer working with a 1-ball count. Here comes the pitch. And a grounder to short. Correa has this one. He throws to first, and that'll end the inning. So the Mets go down in order. We go to the top of the 5th of a 9-3 ball game. Estrada now facing Cone here in the top of the 5th inning. Cone threw 1 pitch to get out of the 4th, and now he's back on the mound for the 5th inning. 1-2 is the count. Thairo Estrada lining it to deep right field. I think this is going to be another home run. The Cubs have just gotten a home run off the bat of Thairo Estrada out to deep right field. 421 feet, and that makes this a 10-3 ball game. Top of the 5th inning, Cubs are up by 7. Thairo Estrada now has 3 home runs on the season, bringing up Wilson Ramos. Top of the 5th, 1 run already in. Cone working with a 2-ball count. Here's the pitch. Ramos drives it to deep right field. Is this going to be back-to-back? The right fielder looks up, he jumps, and it clears the wall. So Wilson Ramos with back-to-back home runs, 388 feet out to the almost exact same spot in right field, and that makes this an 11-3 ball game. So now Chris Archer comes up to bat. He's facing Cone in the top of the 5th inning. Cubs up by 8. Here comes the 1-1 count and the pitch, and Archer lines it over the third baseman's head in the left field corner. This is going to be extra bases for Chris Archer. He's rounding first, heading for second. He will slide into second safely with a double. So with a couple runs already in, Archer with the double brings up Nico Horner. Runner on second, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning. Cone working, first pitch. Horner pops it up behind first base. Alonso calls for it. The second baseman actually calls him off and makes the play for out number 1. Carlos Correa, the batter now. One out, runner on second. Cone working with a 1-2 count. And he gets Correa to swing and miss for strike 3. Fastball 93 that was eye high, and Correa could not lay off, so that's out number 2. Danny Santana now the batter. With 2 outs and the runner still on second. Cone working with a 2-strike count. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. That'll end the inning. The Cubs score 2 more times. We go to the bottom of the 5th of an 11-3 ball game. So now we're going to the bottom of the 5th inning, and because we're playing the zip code game again today, we'll see that the Cubs line score from the first 5 innings is the zip code for Denton, Kentucky. Now, Cone is batting for the Mets, leading off against Archer here in the bottom of the 5th. With a 2-2 count, Archer delivers, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 3, so Cone goes down swinging for the first out of the inning. Archer now working to Jimenez. With 1 out, nobody on. Full count pitch. Here it comes. Grounder over to third. Estrada has it. He throws to first. That's out number 2. Next up is Brandon Nimmo with 2 outs, nobody on. Archer working with a 1-ball count. Here is the pitch to Nimmo. And a liner into center field. Chasing is Springer. He gets there to make the catch and end the inning. So the Mets go down in order. We go to the top of the 6th of an 11-3 ball game. Bryce Harper leading off against Cone in the top of the 6th inning. Here's a 2-2 count. And Cone with the pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Harper's not happy about that call. First out of the inning. And now Drew Smith coming in to bat to pitch for the Mets. Drew Smith has thrown 14 1/3 innings, walked 2, struck out 9. With a 9.42 ERA. Smith is facing George Springer, who is 3 for 3 with 2 home runs in today's game. Springer standing in there with 1 out, nobody on. Here's a full count pitch to George Springer. Smith looking to deliver. Here it comes. And he hits him with the pitch. That is bad form, especially since runners got thrown out of this game earlier in the season, or earlier in the series, excuse me. Springer getting hit after hitting 2 home runs. Man, that was good self-control for Springer to just head down to first and not get into it with the pitcher. So now Mike Tauchman is the batter with 1 out, runner on first. Tauchman facing Smith here in the top of the 6th inning. And we are going to have Tauchman swing away. And there's a drive into the gap in right center field. That is going to be off the wall. Springer heading for third. Tauchman rounding second, heading for third. Springer's going to score. The throw comes back in, and it's late, so Springer scores. Tauchman with the RBI triple, and the Cubs now have a 12-3 lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Mike Tauchman with a big base hit right there, bringing up Thairo Estrada. With 1 out, the runner on third here in the top of the 6th inning. Here's a 1-ball count and the pitch to Thairo Estrada. And there's a grounder up the middle. Second baseman has it. He throws to first for out number 2. They concede the run, making this a 13-3 ball game. And now Wilson Ramos is the batter. With 2 outs and nobody on base in the top of the 6th inning. Smith working to Ramos with a 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. And a swing and a miss to end the inning. So the Cubs score 2 more times and they take a 10-run lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. Now Chris Archer on the mound facing Pete Alonso here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Archer working with a 1-ball count. Here comes the pitch. Popped up to right. Chasing is Harper. He comes in. He looks up and makes the catch for out number 1. Conforto now the batter. 1 out, nobody on. Archer working. 1 out. Here's the first pitch. And a grounder to second. This one is to Horner. The throw goes to first, and that's out number 2. And now Archer working to Davis with 2 outs, nobody on. Full count pitch to Davis. Archer with the delivery. And that is ball 4 low. So he issues his 3rd walk of the day, bringing up Guillermo with 2 outs and the runner on first. Archer working. Here's the first pitch. And a grounder towards second. The throw goes over to first, and that'll end the inning. So the Mets strand a runner. They do not score. We're going to the top of the 7th of a 13-3 ball game. And Chris Archer is leading off for the Cubs here in the top of the 7th inning. This seems like a great spot to use a reliever, except that we don't really have a whole lot of rested relievers. So we're just going to go ahead. Archer's 91 pitches. He's going to get a chance to throw the 7th inning also. He's going to lead off against Drew Smith here in the top of the 7th inning. 1 ball is the count. Here's the pitch to Archer, and he grounds it over to second. The throw goes to first. That's out number 1. Smith now working to Hoerner with 1 out, nobody on. Hoerner 1 for 4 today. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Drew Smith delivers. That's a swing and a miss for strike 3. That was a fastball up and in. He could not get a hold of it. So 2 outs now in the inning, bringing up Carlos Correa. Correa 2 for 3 with an RBI today. Top of the 7th inning, Smith working, 1 strike count. Here is the pitch. And a drive to deep right field. Going back as the right fielder on the warning track. He's going to have room this time. And he'll make the catch to end the inning. So the Cubs go down in order. That's the first inning they have not scored. We're going to the bottom of the 7th of a 13-3 ball game. Chris Archer on the mound now to face the 7, 8, 9 batters in the Mets lineup here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Archer working with a 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Driven to center field, going back as Springer. That's going to be over his head, 1 hop to the wall. Springer getting it back in quickly. That'll be a leadoff double for the Mets here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that means that it's time to warm up a reliever. Blake Taylor will be the man of the hour if Archer cannot get out of this inning. We're going to visit the mound. He says, I can still bring it. Archer facing Nido now with with 1 man on, nobody out. Here comes the first pitch. Grounder to short, picked up, thrown over to first. That is going to be out number 1. The runner advances to third on that play. So now with 1 out, Dominic Smith is going to be the pinch hitter for the Mets. He comes off the bench with 8 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a 193 batting average on the season. Smith facing Archer with a runner on third, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-1 is the count. Archer delivers the pitch. Grounder up the middle. Shortstop has this one. The throw over to first is in time, and that's out number 2. The run scores, making this a 13-4 ball game. And now Archer is going to work to Jimenez with 2 outs and nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Archer can get Jimenez and end the inning. Let's see, 1 strike count. Here comes the pitch. And that's a liner into the gap in left center field. That's not going to get it done. That'll be extra bases as Jimenez heading for second. He slides in safely with a 2-out double here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So the Mets trying to keep the rally alive, sending Brandon Nimmo up to the plate with 2 outs and the runner on second here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Archer working, 1-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 is called right at the letters, and that'll end the inning. So the Mets get 1 more back. We go to the top of the 8th inning with the Cubs hanging on to a 9-run lead. And now the Mets have brought in Daniel Zamora out of the bullpen. He has thrown 26 1/3 innings, walked 8, struck out 25 with a 4.44 ERA. Zamora is going to face Danny Santana here in the top of the 8th inning to lead off for the Cubs. Here's a 1-2 count and the pitch to Santana. Here it comes. Santana lines it right up the middle. That's a base hit. That's going to be a leadoff single as Santana stops at first here in the top of the 8th inning. And now Bryce Harper is the batter. And Harper facing Zamora in the top of the 8th with a runner on first, nobody out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and Harper pops it up to center. Heading over is Nimmo. It looks like he has a line on it, and he makes the play for out number 1. That will bring up George Springer with 1 out and a runner on first. Top of the 8th inning. Zamora working with a 1-2 count. And there's a drive into the gap in left center field. That's going 1 hop to the wall. Heading for extra bases is George Springer. Santana's going to cruise around and score, making this a 14-4 ball game in the top of the 8th inning. George Springer with another RBI gets his season total to 40, and that'll bring up Mike Tauschman. As Robert Gesselman comes out of the Mets bullpen, he has thrown 23 2/3 innings, walked 19, struck out 25, with a 5.32 ERA. So Tauschman is going to be pinch hit for here. We're going to let Mallex Smith do the honors. And he will also stay in and play left field. Gesselman facing Mallex Smith in the top of the 8th inning with 1 out and the runner in scoring position. Here's the 1-2 count. Mallex Smith waiting for the pitch. And here it comes. And a grounder to second. The throw goes over to first. That'll be out number 2. The runner advances from second to third on the play. And that brings up Thairo Estrada. Estrada is 1 for 4 with a home run in today's game. And he is going to be pinch hit for by Triston Casas. So Casas coming in. He will also play third base. And, oh yeah, we need to make sure that Blake Taylor is warmed up and ready to come in. Yeah, he's good. Okay, so Triston Casas facing Robert Gesselman with 2 outs, a runner on third, top of the 8th inning. 1-1 is the count. Casas waiting for the pitch. There's a pop-up to right. Coming in fast as the right fielder. He looks up and he makes the play to end the inning. So the Cubs get another run. They take a 14-4 lead into the bottom of the 8th inning. And now, Archer, who has thrown 108 pitches, his day is going to be over. In order to facilitate that, what we're going to see happen is that Blake Taylor is going to be brought into the game. So Blake Taylor on the mound for the Cubs, pitching in the bottom of the 8th inning. Taylor has thrown 27 2/3 innings, walked 12, struck out 27 with a 1.63 ERA. Taylor will face 3, 4, and 5 batters in the Mets lineup here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's a full count. Blake Taylor pitching to Pete Alonso. Taylor is looking for the sign, and here is the pitch. Low for ball 4. Alonso drawing the leadoff walk. Taylor now facing Conforto with nobody out, runner on first. Taylor working, 1 ball count. Here comes the pitch. And a drive into the gap in right center field. However, on the run, Bryce Harper makes an excellent play for the first out of the inning. Nice reaction there by Bryce Harper to make that defensive play. And it brings up J.D. Davis. With 1 out, runner on first. Here's the 1 ball count and the pitch from Taylor. A liner up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Taylor had to get out of the way of that one. The throw goes to the cutoff man. The runners stop at first and second here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And now Taylor facing Giuliano with 1 out, 2 men on. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. There's a liner into left field. That's going to drop in for a hit. Mallex Smith has it. He throws home. And the runners do not attempt to advance and score. So now the bases are loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Blake Taylor still working. This time to Gardner. So Taylor has a bit of a jam to work his way out of. With 2 strikes, here is the pitch to Gardner. And a liner past the shortstop into left field. That's going to drive in a run. The throw comes home as Mallex Smith reacts quickly, charging that ground ball, getting the ball back into the cutoff man. That's make this a 14-5 game. And now Brandon Nido is the batter. Tomas Nido is the batter. With 1 out, the base is still loaded here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blake Taylor working with a 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch, and there's a check swing for strike 3. So Blake Taylor gets him on the strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning. That'll bring up Amed Rosario, who will pinch hit for the pitcher spot here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rosario with 2 outs and the bases loaded, facing Blake Taylor. Here's the full count pitch. Taylor delivers. That is low. It is ball 4, and the run is walked in. So that makes this a 14-6 ball game. Taylor now working to Jimenez with 2 outs and the bases still loaded. And gosh, is somebody going to have to come in and save Taylor here in the 8th inning? We're going to warm up Ian Hamilton just in case. So Taylor now facing Jimenez with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Here's the 2-2 count. Blake Taylor delivers, and there's a liner up the middle. That's going to drive in some runs. 1 run is in. Springer's throw is late coming home. Oh no, it's on time. It looked like the run was going to score, but George Springer throws out the runner at home to end the inning. So now this is a 14-7 ball game going into the top of the 9th inning. And Wilson Ramos is going to lead off against Seth Lugo here in the top of the 9th. So we are going to actually warm up a position player. It's going to be CJ Cron to pitch in the 9th inning. Ramos facing Lugo, top of the 9th inning. Ramos is 1 for 4 with a home run today. Cubs up by 7. Here's a 1-2 count. Lugo looking to deliver the pitch, and here it comes. That's a grounder over to short. The throw goes to first, and that's out number 1. Lugo now working to Blake Taylor, and Blake Taylor is going to be pinch hit for. So the Cubs are going to send Erie Adrians up to pinch hit because Blake Taylor's day is over. Lugo now working to Adrianza with 1 out, nobody on. Here's the 1 strike count and the pitch. And there's a pop-up to center. Going back is the center fielder Nimmo. He makes the running catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Nico Horner now the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. Lugo working. First pitch to Horner. And there's a grounder past the first baseman into right field. That's going to be a base hit. So stopping at first is Horner, and it brings up Correa with 2 outs and the runner on first. Here is the 1-2 count and the pitch, and a grounder back toward the mound. The pitcher has it. He throws to first, which will end the inning. So the Cubs strand a runner. They do not score. We're going to the bottom of the 9th with the Cubs up 14-7. So now CJ Cron is going to be the new pitcher of record for the Cubs. He is going to come in to pitch in the 9th inning with a 7-run lead. Cron working to Brandon Nimmo to lead off for the Mets. Here comes the first pitch from CJ Cron. And there's a liner into the gap in right center field. That's going all the way to the wall. Cron allowing a leadoff extra base hit as the Mets have the runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now Pete Alonso is the batter with a runner on second, nobody out. Here comes the 2-strike pitch from CJ Cron, and he gets a pop-up to deep center field. That one is into the wind, but it's going to clear the wall. So that makes this a 14-9 ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning. 427 feet out to straightaway center field, and 18 home runs on the season for CJ Cron. And so now, apparently, we are going to have to use a real pitcher. We're going to visit the mound, and he's ready. All right. So coming into the game is going to be the Cubs' Ian Hamilton. He is coming in to face Conforto in the bottom of the 9th inning. With 2 runs already in, the Cubs up by 5. Here's a 2-strike count. Here comes the pitch, and he hits him in the knee. So that puts a runner on first with nobody out. Next up is Davis with a runner on first. Hamilton working with a full count. There's a liner down the right field line. That's going to drop in for another base hit. Wait, is that a foul ball? No, they're saying that was fair. All right, so that apparently is a single, putting runners on first and second with nobody out. And now Hamilton facing Guillermo. Bottom of the 9th inning, 2 runs already in. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Hamilton throws a wild pitch, and it gets away. So the runners advance to second and third. And now Hamilton working in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Hamilton delivers, and there's a pop-up to center. Chasing is the center fielder Springer. He gets up and makes the catch for out number 1. The runners do not attempt to tag up and score, so now Gardner is the batter. With 1 out, 2 men on. Hamilton facing Gardner with a full count. Here comes the pitch. Low for ball 4, so that loads the bases. Well, the benefit to that is now the force is at any base. It brings up Tomas Nido. With the bases loaded and 1 out, Hamilton working with a 2-strike count. Here's a pitch to Nido and a pop-up to center. Springer again coming in. He looks up and he makes the catch for out number 2. The runner again does not attempt to tag up in advance. And now the Mets are down to their final out. And Alex Avila is going to come off the bench for the Mets. He has hit 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, and a 150 batting average on the season. Hamilton facing Avila with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning. Cubs up by 5. Here's the 2-2 count. Hamilton delivers, and a swing and a miss to end the inning. So the Mets, despite scoring twice and loading the bases, come up short in the 9th. The Cubs are winners 14-9. They get 14 runs on 15 hits with 1 error. The Mets, 9 runs on 12 hits with 2 errors. Let's see who the player of today's game is. I couldn't even begin to guess. George Springer. So George Springer is the player of today's game. He hit 2 home runs. But just so we're clear, Harper, Ramos, and Estrada also hit home runs in today's game. Springer was 4 for 4 with 2 home runs, 4 runs scored, and 4 RBIs. So the Cubs, Chris Archer gets the win. He went 7 innings of 5 hit, 4 run, 3 earned baseball with 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. And then the Cub bullpen didn't exactly look fantastic. Taylor gave up 3 runs in his appearance. Hamilton did manage to get out of the inning in the 9th, despite loading the bases after Cron had allowed the 2-run home run. Noah Syndergaard only went an inning and 2/3, and he suffers the loss, dropping to 2-2. He threw an inning and 2/3 of 5 hit, 5-run baseball. 3 were earned with 1 walk and 1 strikeout. So the Cubs improved to 45-22, while the Mets dropped to 28-39. Thank you for watching Replacement Player Baseball.